Welcome to the Kyero.com Spanish Property Podcast, where we interview people who recently purchased a home in Spain. They tell us what worked, what didn't, and what they'd do differently next time. I'm Beth Davison, and today I'm speaking with Olle from Sweden, who purchased a house in Oliva, Valencia. Olle not only wanted his perfect village location, but was also looking to do some renovation on the house himself as a break from work and to add space for family and friends to visit. He worked with estate agent Oliva to find his dream home in Spain. Check out the show notes at kyero.com/podcast to find links and resources mentioned in this episode.
My name is Olle, and I'm from Stockholm, Sweden, and I'm a writer. And we bought a house, my wife and I bought a house in Oliva, in the south of Valencia, north of Alicante, between. It's a village house.
And so how did it all start for you? When did you first start having these conversations?
As it started, my wife is an editor and translator, so we have talked about having a holiday/workplace in the sun for a long time. We have been freelancers for many years. And we started with France, looked in France, because she's translating from French and English. But it's a little bit too cold in France. So we went more south and south, and this last year we started to think about maybe we should take up Spain. We take up Spain again. We have been here 5 or 6 years ago. We were traveling this coastline, and we talked about it. But and then we started. I started to make some. Point down what we wanted, and we couldn't have afford our budget and so on, how far to the airports and things like that. And then I started to look at the different villages down here on this coastline, and then all of a sudden I found this little place called Oliva. And it was amazing because it's rather everything that I had written down. Everything was so correct here. What you
yeah,
say.
Perfect. So what did you have written down? What were the most important factors?
One thing is very important is an airport rather close, about 1 hour from an airport.
Yeah.
Because we are from Stockholm, Sweden. It's 4 hours flight. Mm-hmm. You need to have different companies flying to that airport. And just Alicante is a marvelous airport. It's brilliant. They really know how to take care of people. So, and that was one thing. And the other thing was to be in many of these countries there are a highway rather close to the sea, to the beach, and be on the right side of the highway, if you understand. So you can bicycle down to the sea.
Oh, nice idea. Okay, so were you flying with your bike?
Yes. No, I don't know flying on my bike. I just have the feeling of going on a bike and rolling down to the sea, not be able to cross big roads and things like that.
Yes, fair enough. And did you know your budget and how many bedrooms you wanted and things like that?
Yes, we know we know our budget, and it's a quite strict budget. So. We had not some. I am very interested in renovation or renovating myself. It's a good thing when you're a writer to rise up from your chair sometimes and do real work.
Yes, definitely.
So therefore, I wanted to find something that we can make in order, make it for ourselves.
And so, were you doing most of your research on the internet from Stockholm, or did you travel a lot to Spain to go to viewings? How did it work?
We did nearly everything from on the internet at home, because you can walk in every village, and with the Google map you can. And have you been traveling? A reasonable amount. I've been to Mallorca many times. I've been here on this coastline many times before, and so. You are quite familiar with many things. So when you walk in with this Google Maps guy, when you walk in, you can feel, this reminds me of that, or this reminds me of that. So it's many things that you can discover on the internet.
And how useful was your agent? At what point did your agent start getting involved in the process?
my agencies, they are, in one way, they are the main part, because when I came here to Oliva, I have seen this particular house, actually, that I'm sitting in, but on the internet. And then I took contact with this Oliva Casa, this agent, and they're two brilliant girls, Jane and Trace. They immediately understood what I wanted, and they understood that my budget and so on. And when I came here in November last year for my first time in Oliva, they really took care of me, and they showed me a lot of houses, and they you can see that they understood everything that I wanted, and they were not pushy, but they were very, very, everything. They made everything happen. So they were absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic. And the location that you're in, tell me a little bit more about kind of the surrounding area and the house itself.
Well, the house itself, it's a village house, and it's quite interesting. It's 3 meters wide, and it's 19 meters long. So it's just a small, village houses here in Spain. Many times there are windows at the street, the wall to the street, and there are a patio in the middle, with the open roof. So it can be quite dark. But this house has a little garden on the other side, on the outside. So I can walk my 19 meters and I come out to a garden. And from that garden, I have a fantastic, beautiful view over the Oliva, over the little pueblo, and then the Mediterranean.
Beautiful. And then outside of your kind of grounds, what's the area like?
The area is, we are in the little bit on the outside of town, up on the hill, but we are still inside. It's one of the last streets, you can say. It's a very Spanish village. We wanted a very Spanish. So on the street I think there are 1 or 2 English people and maybe some French, but then there are Romanians and they are in Spanish, and all people from all different countries. So it's a wonderful atmosphere, very friendly.
It sounds very different to Stockholm. So how do you split your time? Is it kind of a holiday home for you?
Now I think we will go, yes, a holiday, of course, but also we go down here and work. I think I will go down here and, work for 2 weeks, or, right? Take my work with me, and my wife also she can be able to take her work with her. And we go down here and we make the house a place to work in also.
Yeah.
Not only holiday home.
It sounds lovely. What kind of writing do you do?
I do. I've written a novel last year, and I'm working on another one now. And I also have written some non-fiction books.
And do you find that the Spanish kind of atmosphere helps with your creativity?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I always adored Spain. They are extremely friendly, and there is, you still say hello to each other here on the street when you meet someone.
Yeah.
You just, even if you don't know them, and there's always this, you say goodbye when you leave someone at the grocery store, when you leave and you say to the other guys in the line, and so it's very friendly.
Is it friendlier than Stockholm?
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. And I wanted to just talk about the process a little bit more of kind of when you bought your house, how much renovating needed to happen?
There is new electricity, and I had to look at all the pipes and water and pipes and so on. I'm building 2 small bathrooms.
Oh, cool.
I have 1 bathroom, but we have 2 children, and they are in the process of getting married and have children themselves and so on. And hopefully they will come down here, and so I wanted them to have a room and a bathroom. Yeah,
fantastic. And how did you get help for things like this renovation stuff? Where did you go to buy all of your stuff? Who gave you the advice on that?
Yeah. The advice I got from Oliva Casa, from Jane, the girl I bought the house with. Mm-hmm. And then I have renovated 2 or 3 houses in Stockholm or Sweden. So I'm quite used to the process of how to start and so on. So, and and there are companies close by in Gandia, our closest city. It's quite a big city, and they have all the companies and everything you need.
Fantastic. And how is your Spanish? Did you find there was a language barrier when you were doing things like that, or are you quite good?
No, not at all. I read Spanish in school, but it's 35 years ago. But I want to learn, and I want to, even just the beginning, you have some words, and you just try to use them.
Yeah, exactly. And so which part have you found the most challenging of the whole process?
Not directly anything.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had a very easy time of it.
I came here in November, and I looked at 6 houses, and this house was one of them, and Jane and I, the broker, we understood that this is the house for us in one way. And then a couple of weeks later, I brought Patricia, my wife, down here. We looked at 2 houses, and she also found out that this house was the place for us. So, and then we just made an offer, and so it was quite simple.
Yeah, and the rest is history. If you were going to give advice to people doing the same thing as you or just starting the buying process, what advice would you give them?
Write down everything. If you are a golf player, write down how long it should be to a golf course. Do you want to live at the golf course like many other people do, or do you live in it? I play golf myself, but I don't want to live by a golf course because it's a different. It's not the Spanish village. And things like that. Write out everything you want, and because there are so many, there's so many villages, and there are so many beautiful places here in Spain. So you can. I think you can nearly find everything.
Fantastic. And if you were doing it kind of uniquely from other people that I've spoken to or who are British, and obviously you're doing it where you're not even closer, to be honest, because the flight time is very similar. But did you find there were any similarities to buying property in Sweden?
I think we had a very good lawyer here, and that's a good advice, to get yourself a good lawyer that you can speak English or your language with, in some language you understand. So I think the legal process is much more genuine in one way here. I felt more secure here, because here was the lawyer, and I could rely on him, and we had a little, when we bought the house, they saw that on the drawings from, the state drawings, or what you say, the town drawings, understand, the house was too small. So that was the lawyer that discovered that. So they had to just make the new drawings at the townhouse before we could sign the papers. And it took 2 or 3 weeks to that. But that was for our sake. He did it. So, and things like that. No one had seen that before. So I think so. As a good lawyer is very good. He has done everything. The lawyer. He has just he even gave us our NEE numbers. That's not difficult to get, but he did everything, and he had the process of doing it, and he's a famous guy here, probably in this little. This is Oliva is 25,000 people living here, or I don't know how many are here all year round, but this guy, the lawyer, he has his office on the big Paseo, so he's probably a well-known guy here.
Yeah,
and that's also very trustful. Yes, helps other people. So.
My last question is about your kind of lifestyle when you visit Spain, and what your favourite part of Spanish life is.
If you compare to, I come from a quite cold country, that we are at home because it's so cold to go out and so on. And the feeling here is that they meet each other in many ways. So they on tapas bars. And there is a very friendly atmosphere between all people, even older. You can see men in their 60s really talking to each other with the atmosphere of connection in one way that you don't see in many countries. And I think that probably is a climate thing. And they have this tapas bars. They really want to meet each other. That's a very, very nice feeling, I think.
Fantastic. That's perfect. Thank you, Olle. We are done. That's everything. I'm glad that you're loving it. Thank you so much. And I hope you keep enjoying it and that it keeps being as easy as it has been. And yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Ollie. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. And thanks to Olle for sharing his experiences, along with Oliva Casas for their help to make this episode possible. I particularly like the way Olle used technology in his research, with Google Maps and Google Earth helping so much in his house hunt. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. This podcast is produced by Kyero.com, and our mission is to connect you with estate agents and properties throughout Spain. Whether your dream home is a rustic farmhouse surrounded by olive groves or a lock-up and leave apartment on the seafront, you'll find everything you need at Kyero.com. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'd really appreciate your 5-star rating on iTunes. It helps us reach and connect more people with their dream home in Spain. And whenever you're ready, here are 4 ways we can help you. Ask a question by emailing beth@kyero.com. We'll try and answer them all in an upcoming Q&A episode. Get a location guide also by emailing beth@kyero.com. We'll reply with the latest data and information on the areas you're interested in. Calculate your budget. Simply visit kyero.com/budget, enter 2 numbers, and you're done. Be our guest. If you've already purchased your home in Spain, we would love you to share your story on the podcast. Just email beth@kyero.com and we'll take it from there. Next week, I speak with Simon from Farnborough, who purchased a house in Pruna, Seville. Inspired initially by a motorbike holiday through Spain, he ended up spoiled for choice with 2 properties he loved equally. So caught on the fence, he tells me he got splinters. Tune in next time to find out which one he chose. I'm Beth Davison, and you've been listening to the Kyero.com Spanish Property Podcast. I'll see you next week.